Hi, this is Lucky Smith with Starvin News Magazine. Today I am interviewing the Mr. Black Heff. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well, Erica. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us. So I understand that you have a new book coming out. What's the name of your book?
The new book is titled Game Is Meant to Be Sold.
The game that is meant to be. So is this in correlation with your reality television show?
It's totally separate. It's a thing that I had been doing for a while and just never had a chance. So in between shopping the pilot and working to better the show with new ideas and new people, I had been in between writing the book, and so I finally got it finished. It's a short story, and so at the beginning of the year I released it digitally, and the hard copies are coming back now, so it should be out of stores here in the next month or so.
And the game that's about to be sold, is this in reference to the pimp lifestyle?
No, it's not actually. It's the total opposite. It comes from my growing up past, where I really came from before, dealing with ladies and becoming the Black Heff, not self-titled, but people, just start seeing me with the ladies and start calling me that. They seen us hanging out, having fun, just going to different events. But anyway,
I was going to say, how did that happen? How did you become the Black Heff?
Oh well, the Black Heff was once I had came here to Dallas, almost maybe 9 years ago, going on 9 right about now. I think it's in July. But anyway, I came down here with an idea to with a revolutionary company that was totally focused on managing exotic dancers. I had already studied the business and the industry as far as gentlemen's club was concerned, and once I had figured out a way to put a plan down with me being able to capitalize off of it, I had to find the right people and the clients and get the paperwork and contracts, and I came up with the business plan. And once I got to Dallas, I started implementing it with different people that was believing in the idea. And once again, I trial and error here or there, but eventually I got the concept up and running and got everything going, and it worked out perfectly.
What was the concept? Was it more so to get women to be able to capitalize on their beauty, or what was like the main concept of team concept, correct?
Yes, team concept. The main what I had only did was I took something that was already a proven working system, and what people then if you do your research, it's the creator of team concept is a formula that it was first used by the Japanese, if I'm not mistaken. But what it was a guy had brought it to General Motors years ago, and it's a formula that embodies and teams people. You put like-minded and unlike-minded people together, and from diverse backgrounds and ethnicities. And what you do is you team them up, and then the formula is it's team concept is like it's 4 stages, and it's the storming, it's the norming, and it's the performing, then it's the self-directed. So long story short, the guy offered it to General Motors in the early 80s. They didn't take it. They took it. The guy took the ideal over to Japan, and that's when Toyota and all of those companies started selling over American cars. That's when they took over, but they did it by using this guy's formula, which was the team concept formula. So he eventually brought it back in the late 80s, later 80s, in the early 90s, and General Motors finally accepted it. And what they did was they took the team concept formula instead of using the assembly line formula that they normally built their cars on. They used the team concept formula, and they created a subsidiary company, which was another car and a whole separate plant for it. And it was a Saturn car. And when they made the Saturn car, they used the team concept formula instead of using the assembly line formula, and it was a more sufficient car than all the other cars that General Motors had made by using that formula. They kind of caught them back up with the Japanese car companies as far as having a gas efficient car. So long story short, my father worked with General Motors using that team concept formula, and he's seen how it worked. And he's seen me having, from being an artist before the Black Heff and being known for music, underground and some mainstream here or there, depending on the state. From just doing music coming up.
Yeah.
The industry, he's seen that basically with me dealing with different girls and having girlfriends that were dancers, and that once he found out that they were the kind of money that they were making from just asking me and me telling him from what they telling me, and he was like, man, if that could be if the team concept formula could be implemented into that, it could be a Fortune 500 company. And then so from there, I just started working with his, with some of his business advice. And then, as I came up with the company, I implemented it in Dallas and started working. Then people started seeing what I was doing, and they just started calling me Black Heff. Seeing the different red carpet, award shows here and there, and they just started seeing the ladies, and they just gave me the name. And I said, man, you know what? That's kind of catchy, but I knew that they were taking a different stereotype, even though we still had a extremely classy and professional look, but just a young black man with Caucasian women, beautiful Caucasian women, is going to the stereotype is going to think in somebody's mind eventually somewhere. So me knowing that I was only doing it the legitimate way and had all my clients sign the contract, I knew that once they figured it out, people would be even more intrigued, that they were just intrigued by just seeing us and giving me a name. I know that once they seen what I was actually doing, it would be even that much more entertaining to them. So that's when we started coming with the reality show ideas and started, doing that. And that's how it all began.
Yeah, because you don't consider yourself a pimp.
Far from it. I don't promote it. I don't condone it. I mean, like, it's so touchy with me being a black man from, originally from the ghetto, growing up in the hood, coming from the streets.
Where were you originally from?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Where were you originally from?
I'm originally from Flint, Michigan.
Oh, so this is something this is a label that you never glorified, but then by the name that people gave you, Black Heff, it was also an automatic affiliation as well. I mean, in a sense.
Excuse me, I didn't get that question. You said affiliation is what?
Well, because you're saying that the name Black Heff, you knew that there was going to be certain ideas connected with that name, and you're not you don't promote being a pimp. You don't consider yourself a pimp.
No. The only reason I would even have the audacity to call myself black, only reason I even took it on, for one, because it actually matched what I was doing, because Hugh Hefner, and I had already did a lot of research and seen documentaries on Hugh Hefner, and I knew that when he first started Playboy, he went through a lot of hatred from different people and organizations that was going against his revolutionary ideal, which now the world has caught up with and went past, where he was taking it, same-sex marriage, all these different things. So where he was at with it back then, he was getting a lot of scrutiny with, having a company that was promoting, nudity in magazines. But even through all of that, once they seen what he was doing and seen the legitimacy of it, and actually through him doing it, a lot of different girls and people got more exposure and became even famous by being on Playboy. So once they seen what he was offering, now he's, the man of all men. He's loved, but initially from the government, everybody, he got a lot of, a lot of bad publicity, for the company. But now, like I say, he's loved by everyone. So I knew that with me, being honest about doing my company and doing everything correctly, and me being called a Black Heff, I knew I had to operate with a level of prestige and cleanness that could be unmatched by any black man that ever dealt with women in the adult entertainment industry, and that's what I set out to do. So, and that's where that's why I was able to take hold of the name and trademark it and do all those things before I first started using it. And I just said that what would need me if he can do it and go through that and being a white man, and I know I'm going through, I've already been through different things and stereotypes from being with these ladies, but once they figure out and see what I'm really doing, I'll reach that same level of respect and understanding, because people will see more of the idea and the concept that's really behind it.
And how long has Team Concept been established?
I've been working on. It's been 10 years in the making, the ideal of it. But as far as on paper, we're going on our 5th year of being on paper and having everything set up as far as taxes, things like that.
5 years, and you guys are bringing in what, 6 figures a year?
Around average low 6, low 6. But we're growing each year, not much because the thing about it is we haven't really, as we keep going, we're fine tuning the concept. So, and it's a lot of clients that have signed up, especially with the TMZ and the Discovery Channel. But as a company, we're not really looking for a lot of clients. It's like finding the right client, and it's like to find actually with this being, with me only dealing with exotic dancers and dealing with gentlemen's clubs, even with it being being illegal to be exotic dancers and working these clubs is really still, considered, and it is a dirty business. So, a lot of times when people see it, they misinterpret the professionalism of it. And even the ladies that I do have as members of Team Concept, these young ladies have, been with the company 1 5 years, 1 4. They're founding members of the company, and they understand how to, they're professionals at being exotic dancers. And so this is to mix. In order to groom people first into the concept, I had to fine-tune the concept with people that could be shown to be proven that the concept actually works, from taking people that never danced before and turning them to the best girl that any exotic club has ever seen, and not trashy but professional. And like the club, the managers compliment the girls, like they've been in the industry for 10 and 15 years, saying how well carried and well groomed these ladies are. But, the thing that they don't know, that they were groomed by the Black Heff and Team Concept. The company, the formula, the concept itself is what groomed them through the stages it went through to get them to that point.
Why did you pick the 3 women that you picked? Because they've been with you since the starting point. But, I mean, do you have like a individual reason why you picked those particular 3 women?
No, those 3 young ladies were the first young ladies that actually was able to understand what the concept was, and commit themselves to seeing it through to make it, reach to where it's gotten to today. So it just basically, these were the first 3 young ladies that stepped up and say, hey, I believe in it. I want to try it out. Let's see. I never danced before, but I think I could do it. And if this concept can make me a professional at doing it and show me how to do it the right way, instead of going into the club and going there by myself, or trying to become an exotic dancer and falling in the traps of falling in one of the many traps that girls fall into, as far as alcoholism, drug abuse, or girl go in there and get hooked up with another girl that got a pimp, and now he turned her on to her guy, and so you can be possible prostitution. All of these things, from drug, all the things I just named are possible in these gentlemen's clubs. So, but if someone goes in there with the proper training and knowledge and understanding that this is a business, and they're not strippers but professionals as exotic dancers in the $billion industry, which is the adult entertainment industry, then they look at it from a different perspective, and just a girl going there to make a few dollars, party, have fun, and drink, and make money possibly in between. It's not that kind of instead of their mentality as far as how they think about it, it's not like that.
Yeah, because you say you're the solution to prostitution.
But I just, I'm a comedian at heart, so a lot of times I just say things that come to mind, but it'd be truth. It'd be like I say, it's from the heart. So if it comes out, it might have a little sarcasm to it, but it's not nothing that I won't stand on. So yes, I am the solution to prostitution, because if the young lady is involved in prostitution and she's beautiful, and if she only knew the kind of money that could be made in an exotic club, and then once it's put together in a team's formula, it's enough money to be spread around for everyone to be able to do different things, and if it has the proper management, then she could have her bank account, have her, her own car, work toward her own place, so she don't want to live in the house with everyone else. Eventually, once her first term of her 2-year contract is over, the company will set all these things up. So it's basically Team Concept is a developmental system, and what the company offers is life skill and managerial services to exotic dancers in the Team Concept, meaning more than one person focused on the same and common goal.
And with your book, you said that your book focuses more on your earlier years, correct? And
Correct.
the music, you also have a CD attached to the book. Are these all songs from your previous CDs, or did you want to talk about the music as well that you have attached to the book?
It's an easy finder. Both the CD and the book, which is titled "Game Is Meant to Be Sold," a short story, and the CD, which is titled "Game Is Meant to Be Sold," a soundtrack. It's basically the music matches the story with the book. The story comes from it's a story about the streets. Originally, before I became the Black Heff and growing up, I come from a rough background, growing up, pretty poor, being in a community that was poverty stricken, full of drugs and drug dealers, and guns and all of these things that were just violence was something that wasn't new, to me growing up at all. It wasn't something that was new. So the stories that I'm telling are things that I've seen, things I've been around, things I've heard, things I know, and I'm just taking a lot. And I had years of being around, this type of a lifestyle, starting off from 12 years old, jumping off the porch hustling as a young kid, selling rocks, so, I started like a lot of people get started late. I was like a kid selling drugs, so that's why as I grew up and matured, it was, for me to become more of a classy individual and not be gaudy and, wear big chains and flashy clothes and have a clean, decent, professional look, because I had been through the slash, gaudy, flamboyant, hustler, rapper, stages. I had already really done that and been doing it since a little boy, a young kid. So when I got a little older in my 20s, I just seen me changing my, my image from that to doing some more positive and legitimate things. And so that's when I started pursuing different avenues, and that's when I came across, the clubs and started dealing with girls that was dancing, and from being a rapper, girls like me and different things like that, So, I learned more, but at the same time, dealing with these different women, I was always studying the flow of the money and how the money that they was making when they was just making money on their own. And I'm like, man, you making that much money in one night? So I just, once I had moved, started moving around a little bit and moved to Tennessee, I had a girlfriend and she had a friend. And then that's when I really learned out the kind of money that could be put, that could be added up if two people, more than one money. I said, man, this girls are making crazy money. That money could be managed and taken care of properly, because they were only going to work 2 days, 3 days out of the week. But in them 2, 3 days, just going in there dancing for 10 hours a day, they were making $600, $700, $800 every day.
Wow. Is that what so that's basically what made you go from selling drugs into this concept, was because there's more opportunity in money?
Of course, there's more opportunity in money, and then it's totally legal. I mean, and then the thing about it is, if you just look at the statistics of girls that get into this industry and ruin themselves, there's a lot of girls that young girls out of high school, young girls. I met one lady and she told, "Did you hold for 1 second during this interview? Goodness gracious, is this person gonna stop calling, or is it bothering? Is they still keep beeping in? I don't think they're gonna stop calling until I tell them that I'm in an interview."
Okay.
Can you do that?
Yes, of course.
If they call back again, I will. But I'm sorry about that. But they just keep calling and calling, so I was just going to try to stop the interruption. But where was I at?
No, you were saying that you have seen women get into drugs and prostitution, and and
Well,
stuff.
no, a lady had told me when she had found out what I was doing, she came by one of my homes. Well, she came by my home, and they had a surveillance company, so I put some cameras in the house for some additional safety, and the lady, it was an independent company anyway. The lady that works for the company said her sister had died from being a dancer, and she said she was a good person and had, but just needed money and started getting into dancing, and she was really beautiful. And she said she started dancing and hooked up with the wrong people and started doing drugs and then got into heroin and blah blah blah. Long story short, she said she ended up getting killed. She said, but
Oh wow.
it was all because she started into the industry and she didn't have the right guidance. And so with her not knowing what to expect by coming into the industry, she got involved with people and didn't have no instructions or nobody to tell her what to watch out for or not to get
Nobody
involved
got
in
your
that.
back.
And excuse me.
There was like nobody there to watch her back for her. Like,
Yeah, well,
yeah.
well, not just that, but a lot of times, like I say, it's you get. I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in these things because especially if you like I say, a young lady going in there with no one to show them what to do. A lot of these girls that do all the wrong things, as soon as they see a new girl that don't know what she's doing, they pull her in and tell her like, well, let me show you what to do. But that person that want to go in and show her what to do, she's on pills. She's taking 10, 20 shots a night. So she's showing this person how to do it. This is how you got to do it. So they get to learning that formula of doing it, and they think that's how it actually goes. But the clients of the team concept are not alcoholics. They don't drink. When they're in the club, they don't. I mean, these ladies are it's a job to them, and they take it. It's a real profession to them, and not just a party like most girls that dance in these clubs. How they take the job itself. It's just a party to them.
Mm. And with the your book, does it go where does it stop off at? I mean, does it go up to the reality show, or how much do you cover of your life in your book? The game that
Well,
should be sold.
Well, no, the game is meant to be sold is a fictional story. It's just
Oh,
it's basically it's just some stuff that it's not really it's with having so many stories coming from my background. I mean it's not hard to just take some things I've heard, some things I've seen, or just all of these different stories that came through my brain and turn them into stories. And so that's what I did with the game is meant to be sold. It's a fictional story, short story, but a lot of the character, which is the main character, Cassius has a lot of a lot of my ways, so he's kind of like me, but not me.
I see. I see. So it's based on a fictional story, and then you said that the CD is attached to it. So when you buy the book, do you get the CD as well, or how do you guys
Oh
have
no,
that?
they're a separate purchase.
Okay.
They just have they were released on the same release date as far as digitally, and the physical release is coming up here in April. So we're 15th of April. So we're just but we have had the digital release, so you could purchase the book on Amazon or Kindle. Game is meant to be sold, or you can purchase the CD on iTunes. Game is meant to be sold. The soundtrack.
Okay, and then people want to catch your TV show. Where can they find that at?
If they want to see that, it's independent right now. We're working with some webisodes, and we had it going for a minute, but in negotiations, we were advised to take what we had down because we're going to work and put some newer footage up from what we had before. So right now we're in between figuring out where we want to get it placed at. So just tell them to stay tuned. If they keep going to the blackheff.com or follow us on Twitter at Black Heff Show or Black Heff or the Black Heff Show on Facebook. We keep all of the information updated on those sites.
And music-wise, are you touring, or are you going to be doing any shows? in
Right now, we're currently working on doing a book tour, and then in between the book tour, we're going to be maybe having some shows set up in between clubs. And and once we come back off the short book tour, we're going to start doing some few listening parties in some major cities. So it may be one near you that you'll be invited to.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me see. Well, so we covered the show, we covered the music, and then also, when you tour, do you tour with your whole family? Like, would the three ladies we will be coming with you on your tour?
More likely, the ladies will be coming out. Two of the ladies out of the three that you've seen. Two of them they have been developed into a singing rapping group. So they have a single coming out, which is called Champagne Life. They have 9 songs completed right now. They have a video to Champagne Life, and they have another video to another song that will be shortly released in the summertime. That's completed as well. So the name of the group is called LTC. The group, but his name, the initials is LTC, long term commitment. But when you get a chance to hear it, you can. They have Instagrams, LTC the group. They have Twitter, LTC the group. Facebook, LTC, and you can see them and keep up with them as well. But yeah, these ladies are doing. These ladies have been with the company, like I say, for 4 or 5 years. These two right here. And they have changed into their own. So now I told you there's 4 stages of team concept. The first stage is the storming. The second stage is the norming. Sorry about that. Excuse me. The first stage is the norming. The second stage is the storming. The third stage is performing, and the fourth stage is self-directed. So the clients that I have right now, they're in their self-directed stage.
Oh wow!
So now,
this is really
so they've been through the process. They've been through 2 terms of each contract. Each client is signed to a 2-year management agreement. So they've been through 2 terms. A little bit more about the company. The company provides credit restoration within 30 days of being assigned to the 2-year agreement. It provides full medical and dental benefits for the 2-year term that you're with the company. Within 90 days of being signed to the contract. If you renew your 2-year term, the company car you drive, our company cars are Range Rovers. So the company car that you're driving within your 2-year term, if you renew for a second 2-year term, which would be a total of 4 years, the company car that you're driving, the Range Rover, becomes your own personal vehicle. So these young ladies have acquired a Range Rover. Like I said, one has been with the company 4, one has been with the company 5. They have acquired their own vehicle. They've acquired a wardrobe out of this world. They've acquired a bank account with money. They've acquired the understanding of how to make money in the industry where they can go in there and not be a sleazy, peel popping, cocaine using, alcohol drinking stripper, but to go in there and be a level-headed, clean, professional, exotic dancer that know how to entertain men, which is through talking, having fun, talking to sports, talking to weather, knowing how to be a conversationalist instead of just being, a lot of things that girls in this industry are stereotyped for. Like I said, they're a different caliber, no doubt about it.
And these women that you bring on, I mean, I hear that there's a lot of negativity that you vibe off of women that use recreational narcotics. Is there a policy within your company that prohibits drug use? Because it's kind of easy to get into within that industry. Is that something that you implement within your standards of who you sign on as well, that they cannot use drugs?
Oh yeah, all of the our company rules, which we have a set of rules that we have as far as house rules with clients, because this is not a job where clients go out and live. Most of the clients during their 2-year term will live in house in one big home. So at that same time, then we have to have those rules. But the rules that we deal with as far as the club is concerned, we follow whatever rules that governs the club that are provided by the state and the federal government. Those are the rules that within the contract that they're signed with at the club as being licensed entertainers to come in there and dance. It's an agreement that they have with the club as well, and the rules that come with that agreement are the rules that the company also abides by. But those are all guidelines that were provided by the state and federal government, and that stipulation is in there. No drug use, no drug also in the company rules as well, as far as in the house rules. But more so, a lot of the main rules that govern the clubs are the same rules we use to govern the girls as far as when they're at the club dancing and doing their job.
Wow, that's really, it's interesting how you took a concept that was made to promote, that was basically made for an industrial industry, the automobile industry, into the entertainment and adult entertainment industry. I mean, I find that very interesting that you're able to take the same plan and then just implement into an industry that you're involved in, and as well as music too, incorporating, like, there's three concepts: the adult entertainment, writing, and music together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's well, the thing about it, the only thing that really made it possible is because when General Motors switched over from dealing with the assembly line is people interacting with a conveyor belt that's moving down the line, and when it gets in front of you, then you put your part on and do your thing, whatever that your job is, and then it goes on, keeps rolling, somebody else does their thing. But with the team concept formula, and they got, like all the companies that use it, they get better production and better quality of workers, because it puts the employees together in a team. So they're working. So now, instead of you send me, you let it roll past me, I might be having a so-called shitty day. Excuse my French, but if I'm having a shitty day, I might do my job so-called shitty because of how I'm feeling, maybe at one point. But if I was, so when it comes past me, when it gets to the next person, it's probably half done incorrect just because of the bad day that I'm having. But if I'm working with a team of 3 to 4 other positive people, even if my energy is negative, but their energy is still strong and positive and motivated to do the job that we have at hand, which is one common goal, which is success, for the whole team, then that will inspire that person that may not have inspiration or be inspired that day, but by being with your team and not just being there by yourself and working together with others, it inspire a person to be able to be uplifted by others on a day-to-day basis, and so no one has no solo sorrow, so to speak.
I really find that intriguing. What do you see coming up in the future? I mean, you have a reality television show that you're launching. You have a book coming out, music, and a tour. I mean, is there anything else that you have that moving forward as well, or something that you have cooking?
Well, actually, that's one thing I got a call today. Some people are looking to get me involved with a new 100% natural energy drink. But that's all I can really give you right now, because we haven't, getting the paperwork together. So, but that may be something I may be doing as well. It's a healthy energy drink, with only 100 calories, but it's everything is all the additives and preservatives, everything that's in it is all natural.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
I think we covered everything today. Is there anything else you would like to add, Mr. Heff?
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody knows where to locate all of the material, and I don't think that if they're searching for the book Game Is Meant to Be Sold, or the CD Game Is Meant to Be Sold, you'll find it. My artist name and writer name is Jacob Fella. So Black Heff is me as the CEO of Team Concept and the professional businessman that deals with the ladies and lives in the mansion. But Jacob Fella is the recording artist and the author that came from the street. So you kind of got a Batman Bruce Wayne scenario. Bruce Wayne is Black Heff and Jacob Fella is Batman. Let's say that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I saw that on the was it the music video I saw? Was it This Shit's
Shit that got real?
Yeah. And I saw the name. I was a little confused. I was gonna ask you, was it like somebody rapping with you? So now that makes sense. So when you're rapping and writing, you're under I'm under Jacob Fella. Jacob Fella, and then Black Heff is the CEO for Team Concept. Correct. Gotcha. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll include that. And thank you very much for doing the interview. and have a great day. Good night, everyone. This is Lucky Smith saying good night.